Hey, baby.
Yes?
Wanna dance with me?
Oh, Jordan senpai!
First kisses are a wonderful thing. They come in many different shapes and sizes, sometimes perfect, most times awkward. However, it's a moment in our lives where we connect with a loved one for the first time, which broadens our horizon on life and welcomes us into the beginning steps of adulthood. Hey guys, my name is Jordan, and today I'm going to be telling you about a story about my first kiss and how it almost got me killed. Now, I recognize that I've already told the story about my first kiss, which, if you'd like to check that out after, if you haven't seen it already so that this story makes a little more sense for you, I'll leave that down in the description below. But there was a very crucial detail about that story I had left out just because it seemed a little too brutal to elaborate on at the time, but for the sake of the story, I would like to fill you in on the missing pieces of this story. So, here we go. So if you've been a fan of my channel and my stories for a while now, you'll probably recall my Air Cadet stories from back in the day during my younger years
When I was the cool, hip youngster that I was.
And during this time, I was flown off to a camp, which was a 2-week training course called Basic, that had us stationed over in Nova Scotia, Canada, which led to a lot of amazing and unforgettable memories. However, with the many great times I had when I was there doing my training, there were also some pretty crazy stories as well, which have led to the many I have told you guys, which leads me into this new story now. If you haven't watched my first kiss story, I will quickly sum it up without spoiling too much,
But if you don't want any spoilers at all, pause this video,
open the first kiss story down in the description, open on another page, and give it a quick watch, and then come back here. My first kiss was awkward, but not just because I was young, and the fact that it was my first time getting kissed, but because the girl who kissed me, which we'll call Courtney for the sake of this video, had a boyfriend, and his name was Keith. And Keith, he wasn't a cool guy. He was cruel, uncaring, and all around a terrible person, and had it out for me. To recap a little more on the previous story, Courtney had a thing for me. After meeting her for the first time during Basic at a dance hall, we immediately clicked. After everyone around us had gone on the dance floor to dance with each other, it was just me and Courtney, to which I had asked her if she wanted to dance. Wait, no, it was more like this.
Hey, baby.
Yes?
Wanna dance with me?
Oh, Jordan senpai! I would love to!
Yeah, it totally happened like that, and we went to the dance floor and made out. Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's not what happened at all. But we did go on the dance floor, and it was a great time. From Cotton Eye Joe to the many slow dances that were played, we were glued to the hip dancing together, which granted sounds uncomfortable while dancing, but you get my drift. After the dance, Keith had spotted her with me, which leads to the beginning of this whole dilemma. After that night when Courtney had gone up to Keith, and he had shot me a look of pure rage, I had quickly gotten out of the dance hall and met up with my other friends who were just outside, and I had explained my situation to them. Afterwards, we pretty much bailed on the dance hall and went out about our night. The next morning, I was more or less fully realizing the situation that I was in, and it was just the first week of Basic, and I already had a guy probably plotting to destroy me somehow, so I had a little bit of anxiety about that, but who wouldn't? After doing some basic training with our courses and some marches, we were finally done for the day, and it was the time to mingle, chill, and hang out with friends and other fellow cadets on the base camp. This was the first time where I was trying to keep a sharp eye out on not only avoiding Courtney, but watching out for Keith, since I really just didn't want to be a part of this whole situation in the slightest, so I kept my guard up. Suddenly, I remember some guy had come up to me, ever so casually whispering to me as if he was undercover, and said,
"Hey dude, Courtney is waiting in the back area, next to the fence."
and walks off. This to me was not only weird, but also very odd, seeing how I figured this girl would want nothing else to do with me, but I
Can't blame her with my charming looks and all.
even the mirror can't handle my good looks, haha.
Yeah, sure, okay.
Moving on. So as I went to the fence, Courtney was there waiting patiently on the grass, and when I went over to her, she gave me this big hug and apologized for what was happening. She ended up telling me that she was not happy with Keith, so she really didn't care about what he thought about seeing me and wanted us to hang out more. So here I am with this girl who clearly has a thing for me, while still with her boyfriend, who is also at the camp with us, and he got it out for me. This couldn't get any more dramatic, right? Wrong. Turns out another guy I was friends with at the camp also had a thing for her, and this just all started to become a really strange love circle thing, with me in the center of it all. As the days went by, we would hang out as subtly as we could, while I was also keeping hawk eyes locked on every person who's in the area, as I really wasn't down to be involved in any drama, but at the same time, I did have a kind of a crush on this girl, so I obviously went with it. Suddenly, as we walked around, I feel a tap on my shoulders. It was Keith, with his arms crossed and gaze fixed upon me with all his wrath, and then said, "What are you doing with my girlfriend?" As I gazed back with unease, Courtney stepped in, and they both began to have an argument with each other, with me just being in the middle of it all. Courtney telling Keith he's not even like a boyfriend to her anymore, and him obviously defending himself. Needless to say, I attempted to walk away and let them handle themselves out, as I attempted to remove myself from an even more awkward scenario as subtly as I could. But Keith pointed at me and said, he's gonna find me and he's gonna deal with me later. So I more or less just got out of there because this dude was much bigger than me, huh? Regardless, during the rest of the basic trip, I was keeping my eye out over my shoulders for Keith, as Courtney had made it clear she's gonna hang out with anyone she wants. Even with Keith threatening to come after me, I really didn't see him much after that. I guess he was all bark and no bite. But he did make a bullseye mark on the back of my cadet's uniform, huh? So that was something. Either way, a few days later, me and Courtney kiss. Another guy gets her attention and asks her out, and they start dating, leaving me with nothing and no one in the end. I didn't ask her out to date because we lived in 2 separate provinces, but all's well that ends well, I guess. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that story, and if you did, you should totally leave a like and subscribe so that you'll always be around for more videos. If you'd like to keep up to date with me, be sure to follow me on my social media at the Fear.Business on Twitter and at TFRJordan on Instagram, where I post updates, memes, and life advice. I've also started live streaming over on Twitch, guys. So, if you'd like to get your chance to interact with me and watch me suck at games, now's your chance. At twitch.tv/thefearraiser, I live stream when I can, which is a few times a week, but I'll soon have a set schedule. Either way, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you later. See ya!